Netflix's Man on Fire features non-stop plot twists from start to finish, culminating in an adrenaline-fueled ending that answers what really caused the bombing. The show loosely adapts the books by A.J. Quinnell, which were previously brought to life in Denzel Washington's 2004 movie of the same title. However, they take a unique approach to the beloved revenge story. Rather than him getting hired to protect a little girl, John Creasy, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, is brought to Rio de Janeiro ahead of an election to stop any terrorist attacks. Things go sideways when a bomb takes down the building where Creasy, his buddy Rayburn, and Rayburn's family were staying. Out of sheer luck, Creasy and Rayburn's daughter, Poe, survive the attack. However, their problems aren't over. Creasy sets out to protect Poe from new threats and get revenge for the death of his only friend. Luckily, he has the help of his driver, Mello, and the favela gang that Mello's involved with. As Creasy tries to track down the people involved in the bombing, he learns that the whole thing connects back to a shocking conspiracy. This leads to Man on Fire's climactic, action-packed, and surprisingly heartfelt ending that answers the big questions about the bombing while also setting up a potential second season. Who really caused the bombing and their downfall, explained. Man on Fire provides multiple red herrings about who caused the bombing at the start of the series. Ultimately, the show reveals that a rogue CIA agent, Henry Tappen, came to President Carmo and Prado Soares with the idea of staging a terrorist attack right before the Brazilian election. If they won in an ordinary election, it wouldn't have changed much. However, a terrorist attack would allow them to take complete and total power over the government. Their plan was airtight. Everything would have worked out if Rayburn hadn't brought Creasy to Rio to prevent any terrorist attacks. They knew Creasy would have stopped their plan. As such, they swapped from one apartment complex to the one that Rayburn and Creasy are staying at. They couldn't have foreseen that Creasy and Poe would have been away at the time of the attack. Unfortunately, because they set up Faraz, Creasy spent most of the series chasing down the wrong men. Creasy only learns the truth when he goes to kill Faraz. Ultimately, Creasy takes the men down in the Netflix original show through an elaborate plan which gave him access to Tappen without the extra security. He knows, having worked alongside Tappen, that the CIA agent always has a deadman switch. When he takes Tappen out, all the information exposing Carmo and Soares comes out, ending their reign of terror. How Creasy clears his name in Man on Fire. Tappen was smart enough not only to set up Faraz for the bombing, but also to doctor the communications between John Creasy and Faraz, implicating the hero of our story. As such, he spends most of the last 2 episodes hiding from the public. His plan is much more difficult to execute when he cannot be seen. He has to clear his name. What's more, Creasy feels immense guilt over the news reports implicating Mello, Livro, Poe, and Vico. He is the prime example of someone going through a shame spiral. He thinks he is the problem. He already blames himself for the incident in Mexico City, which caused his PTSD. Consequently, he pushed everybody away, even telling Rayburn that he was a one-man show now at the start of the series. Against his instincts, he let his guard down with these 4 and formed a connection about halfway through Netflix's Man on Fire. Ultimately, the guilt of potentially hurting more people he cares about eats away at him. The only way to clear their names is to clear his name. The only way to clear his name is for him to expose the entire conspiracy. Luckily, the dead man's switch changes everything. The information leaked after Tappen's death allows John Creasy to not only get vengeance for the Rayburn's deaths but also to clear his name. He is no longer a wanted man, allowing him to move forward with his life. What's more, the CIA regains its confidence in Creasy after he's able to stop Tappen and keep Poe safe. Why everyone wants to kill Poe, explained courtesy of Netflix. John Creasy is a special ops agent who is more than capable of exposing the entire conspiracy. It makes complete sense that the Carmo, Soares, and the other bad guys would want to take him out. He's an actual threat. On the other hand, Poe is a strange target. Poe is a teen girl with limited self-defense skills, 0 advanced interrogation skills, and no government intelligence. Generally speaking, she isn't a threat to them. However, Soares seems eager to find out what she knows and get her out of the country as quickly as possible. Upon further reflection, this is the first moment of foreshadowing that he is actually in on the crime. Ultimately, Poe is the key target because she saw the man on the motorcycle. She could identify Tappen. If John Creasy killed Tappen, the whole world would learn that Carmo and Soares planned the bombing. What's more, Tappen is a snake. If he were identified, he wouldn't hesitate to out them. Poe doesn't even know how much of a threat she is to the conspiracy. Why Tappen became a rogue CIA agent. Juan Rosas/Netflix copyright 2024. At face value, it makes no sense that Tappen, a CIA agent, would go rogue and help President Carmo become the Brazilian dictator. He isn't Brazilian. He isn't the president of the country. He isn't a business owner who would be negatively affected by a regime change. His motivation is unclear. However, the plan in the action thriller show ultimately benefits Tappen. He proposes that Carmo and Soares use their newfound authoritarian powers to make deals with the United States that would benefit Tappen. He wants to rise through the ranks of the CIA, and he sees this as his way. This reflects the United States' history of attempting to overthrow or influence foreign governments, via history. The difference in this case is that it's a rogue agent instead of a major CIA mission. Why Faraz took the fall for Tappen's crimes in the Netflix show On Roses/Netflix copyright 2024. When John Creasy goes to kill Faraz, he learns that Faraz didn't order the bombing, and the FRP was not involved at all. Instead, Tappen, President Carmo, and Soares set the whole thing up. They intentionally planted information to make Faraz appear to be the mastermind behind the incident, similar to how they set up John Creasy as the rogue agent who helped.